Hello everyone, thanks for joining us here on Horizon. I'm Rob McClendon. Well, a strong workforce is the cornerstone of every community and its economy. But finding the right people for the right jobs can be a challenge, depending upon the position. Research shows a mishire can cost a company anywhere between 5 to 27 times what that person's base salary would have been. But such a dilemma is often avoidable. Blaine Singletary shows us how.
Rob, it's all part of a program called WorkKeys, and to put it simply, it gives employers a clear, itemized look at what strengths and weaknesses a prospective hire has. We ventured out to Ottawa County in the northeast corner of Oklahoma to see how it's reinventing the workforce. It's business as usual at Scepter USA in Miami.
Scepter is a manufacturer of plastic portable fuel containers, i.e. your red gas cans, primarily.
That's Miriam George, Director of Human Resources for Scepter. They're still a fairly young company, having opened back in 2012, but they've enjoyed a tremendous amount of growth and success. And in George's words, that's come down to hiring the right people, thanks to a special program.
There was a representative through the Career Tech that spoke to us about the advantages of having your jobs, your positions profiled, and then utilizing a testing mechanism, which is your career readiness testing in your hiring process, so that you can pre-select people with a suitable skill set for the roles.
And that testing mechanism is what's known as WorkKeys. Think of it as a standardized test, as the same people who make the ACT test are behind this one. But instead of college readiness, this one is all about workforce readiness. Susan Kuzmick of Career Tech explains.
The WorkKeys test will show an employer the skill levels that a job seeker currently has, how they can perform on their job.
And once they've completed the test, they get a certificate that grades them on 3 core areas: applied mathematics, reading for information, and locating information.
And these areas are necessary in over 85% of the jobs across the United States today.
With job applicant strengths and weaknesses itemized, companies like Scepter are able to make more informed hiring decisions. Miriam George says it's also helped them find out what their company is all about and exactly what each part of it does.
Because we were a startup company, the process helps you develop such an exhaustive task list that we would have, never come up with something this extensive on our own. And I'll just show you one.
George showed us a list of 62 items, the task list for just one of the positions here. And that packet of papers has uses outside of being a WorkKeys component.
This can then become a component for training. We know we have to train on each and every one of these items. It can also be used early on for interview type questions.
Working with Career Tech, Scepter produced job profile reports for key positions like maintenance technician, production operator, and QA lab technician. With all these benefits, you'd think businesses would be chomping at the bit to get WorkKeys working for them, right? Well, Susan Kuzmick says they're off to a good start, but could always use more participation.
We have over 125,000 career readiness certificates in Oklahoma, and we have probably around 100 employers that are utilizing, either recognizing or requesting the career readiness certificate.
And one way to do that is by getting cities, towns, and counties to become work-ready communities. Ottawa County, where Scepter is located, is working to become one of them. By meeting ACT's criteria and setting some of their own goals, they have the chance to be nationally recognized, and business owners will take notice.
Businesses will be looking to locate because they see the value of the credentialed job seekers in that area.
These work-ready communities bring elected officials, businesses, and educators together with the simple goal of advancing their workforce. And the more of the state that gets on board, the greater the benefits will be.
That community will engage their employers, drive the certificate, improve the quality of life for their citizens, and bring in those high-skill, high-wage jobs.
It's all about working together, and in the long run, growing together. Again, Miriam George.
As we try to recruit and develop more industry, more jobs into our county, companies are going to notice that you've got the tools in place here to help get a qualified workplace.
At this point, pending their final approval, Ottawa County would be the only work-ready community in the state, but Susan Kuzmic told me it won't take much for other counties, regions, or even the whole state to begin the process of growing a stronger, smarter workforce.
All right, thank you so much, Blaine.